Since we first set foot on Inazuma. So many things have happened. Yeah, we've Huh? Hey! What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? All right, let's convince him to calm down a little.
Bellowing Thunder! Take this!
Oh, so you don't have a... Seems like I've mistaken you.
At the very least, you should make sure... No, wait! Even when you've got the right person...
Have you ever met someone by the name of... He carries a sword just like you. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting...
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our faces. And he did... Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling... Hey! Don't be mean! Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should... Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean... Yeah. Anyway, there's no time to... Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's...
He still hasn't arrived? All I want is to see our hero.
Gotta interview him today.
I heard that guy who took on the Muso no Hitotachi is actually...
Huh.
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after... Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, if it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she...
Oh, so...
I've heard bits and pieces. Something... Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryou Commission. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been...
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you. Guess we'll...
All right, then. I'll just stay here and carry on trying to fend off the...
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt Decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least the Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity. Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already... In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great turmoil. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui, attributing all of the Considering Mr. Kaidahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but also receive... In the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly...
This is a true honor. I am delighted. However, would I be correct to
I can assure you that nothing could be further. With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaidaharas, you will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements, yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of...
I sense some hesitation. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many...
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was...
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaedahara really parried the Shogun. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaedahara...
What? But...
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public... But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this situation...
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought.
In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then.
Yikes! We knew...
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for... No. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedahara sword art. Focus, those forms are quite different.
All the more reason to watch your...
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive.
In that case, I will send some men out
Thank you. I must say, I am now very curious about this matter. I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked her.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
Please, be careful.
Would you know if anyone...
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an...
Oh? You were targeted? Mr. Kaedehara is current... To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing... Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want.
Millions? Of mora? Whoa!
Please, accept my thanks.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. Sorry, I got a little off, but I wouldn't know where to begin if we...
Then let's put that connection aside for now. The Tenryo Commission had very few leads.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would...
Uh-oh. Looks like the trails...
I still find it difficult to believe that few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, Someone is certain to have been. I am well aware of your talents. There is no. It would cause me great grief to see someone become for the poor victim.
Don't worry, we'll find.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara. Surely that
You flatter me.
you are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand. Oh, actually, let me tell you about it.
Sure. During time.
All right then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a
Amenoma!
Right. Yuya is the nephew of 2 grown men going missing at this. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade.
Understood. Though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea.
Sure, can't hurt.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making.
Sounds good. All the.
Ah, if it isn't Kaede...
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respect. Let me quickly explain. The the techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan.
So sick.
It is a great pity indeed. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out. As for the art of the Kaedehara...
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's...
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of we hope to assist with the investigation.
Ah, yes. He didn't say a word before he left, but I've done what I can so far.
We heard that there was a collector.
Yes. On the morning that I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato. Yes. Strange, isn't it? If I had to guess, it must have been some He's never been particularly interested in blade forging. But as always, he is extraordinarily talented.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be based on the evidence we have gathered so...
What? No, he is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the... Yes. If there's one thing But, with that said, I also cannot know what course of action he might be Anyway...
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think...
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the 2 men... Let's pay a visit to the Time to go.
I'm very sorry, but my husband has gone...
No, you misunderstand us.
Ah, I see. I'm sorry you have to see me in this
I'm afraid we don't have any new information. With this in mind...
for example...
He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how everything was fine when we first got married.
Uh-oh.
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends on the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles...
Whoa!
And that led to...
Actually, it didn't. Generally, you must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to... Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't... And I also don't know if he... The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had...
I see. Ame no Mayuya came to purchase a weapon from...
At first, I assumed they... But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so...
Maybe he was...
I don't know. He just disappeared. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home, now that all his collectibles have been lost in... Even though I'm still a little mad at him. We're a fan... As long as he's willing to turn over...
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this if collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life. It is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Ame no Mayuya is also a
A little confusing.
Let's try a change of scenery. Rest assured, we'll notify...
Thank you so much.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part. Do you have any thoughts?
Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
Right. I very much agree with you. Working off what we know so far, the chances are that there are still some clues left for us to discuss. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Ame no Mayuya is Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, Ame no Mayuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker. Namely, that he is principally a...
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone?
Let's keep going. Since if we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse.
Wind Strider! Time to go.
Wait. I hear something ominous.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds as sketchy as that whole thing seems. You did put it to good use.
Now I'm picking up a strong...
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of we should remain vigilant.
So it's an under...
The force is definitely... The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place. But the residue it left behind, judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband...
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami and from what I've been told. But most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to... Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence...
So what should we...
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move You needn't worry. Both of us...
What's down?
Everything's buried in debris. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary!
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction of 2 ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. Yes, let's go. If nothing else, it quiet your mind and... From this point, the trail appeared the main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance.
Whoa! Look at all those silly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Clouds high. The birds call.
One with nature.
Ugh!
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn... Well, let's take a... According to this letter, a conflict arose. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could.
So...
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by... Yes, right, if Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people in this...
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, for a practitioner of the martial arts, all the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explain...
Wait! You think...
I believe so. But it's something of... On with the search. We...
Why here?
I'm not sure. But on close...
Show yourself.
Kaedehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So what's your problem, huh?
Indeed, there should be no enmity. But what if instead of facing Amenoma Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it... Whoa! Shit!
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, or rather, as a means to occupy.
You're sharper than I thought. Many years ago, I was forged by as a descendant of the Kaedehara clan.
I presume it has something to do with...
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life, he not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire...
So...
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and will. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to I seek but one thing. To face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power.
So tell me, what happens to the...
My hosts? Who cares what happens to when they got tired or injured or unusable? I hopped to the next one in line.
You're...
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma Yuya handed at long last. I'm approaching my journey's destination. Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun. Now.
The wind knows me.
Submit to me! Ah! Rewrite history!
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
And sever that divine light!
Wind strider!
Do not stand in my way, or I will strike!
Your bluff's fooling...
Lost. I can never, even if you defeat me here, he is but a puppet that can be. The end result is the same. And even if I were to lose by any means necessary.
Your fighting style. But from your movements,
Really? You can
as I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenoma Yuya's body, its movements express the. If you ask me, the mania is.
Are you trying to claim that I am on his deathbed? He passed to me all of Ishin arts in that regard. Why?
Because all of that is in. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in. Now that I've seen inside your mind. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak.
Oh, that's right.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles. Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. I think you realized your limitations long ago. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long...
What would you know about any of this?
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin, even if you were to sever that divine light. Is this truly the... Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey, how could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony?
Silence! I must achieve I will concede that you are most perceptive.
And you should...
Easy for you to say. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not... It is pointless to argue further.
How stubbornly you... I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the Almighty...
What?
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to... Once we have dealt with them...
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose...
Don't
do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Ame. The cursed blade's strength is currently very weak, and I said the power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey to it.
But...
Even if things take a turn, we have a chance here to save an innocent victim.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. Now.
Kazuha?
I felt a little dizzy at first, but it's all right. So far, I will.
What should we do next?
we find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it if a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter it if he wants to avoid reality, then...
Wait a minute! Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by...
all right.
What about Amenoma?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us.
Are we sure this is a good... Okay, fine.
Leave everything on this journey to me.
Into the wind.
My lucky day.
There's more! The wind knows me. As one with wind and cloud. Into the wind. Finally, the very.
How are you feeling?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely, though he's making every effort to persevere.
Something else on your...
How strange. Let's keep going.
Time to go. Let's get down to business. One with nature. It's my lucky day. Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds call.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade.
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading. He cannot hold out much longer.
But what would that...
I will be careful with it. He's still
Time to go. That hurts.
It's over!
Fallen leaves, adorn my night.
You win this battle.
Are you okay?
Yes.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer.
Perhaps this time we'll find
True form? What are you... Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece...
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of I've finally figured out what you wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I'm the only one who truly understood you, had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh?
Here they are! Take them down!
Don't worry. It's just...
Into the wind. Wind strike.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. No one knew anything of my story. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony...
But in this too, you have...
Indeed. No matter how hard, too much time has passed. My physical state, yours, is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotari.
Actually, this is just a... Forging and maintenance are both important. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close skill, blade, determination, and desire. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been a Tatarigami as a malevolence from the ancient past, though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you,
I sensed it.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amin. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked, the moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. You have known this for a long time.
He gave me everything. How could I possibly? I said to him...
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motive. When I touched the hilt for the first time, a bladesmith lay quietly on a newly forged blade lay by his...
Wow. That...
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith, he spent the rest of his life in the forge. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blades.
So that's the... But after that, the black...
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost... Yes, time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, he seems to have calmed down, though.
When I look back, I once told him that I would pay any but darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Not only did I fail to...
You are finally seeing...
Since we agreed to the terms, but I still cannot bring... So...
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have. My physical form as well as...
His attitude... What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, alas, after that, nor have I ever had... My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next... You are a fine warrior.
Oh?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore... You must have plenty of reason.
Understood. Then let...
I see. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since if a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I do not wish to be a mere...
There's no need to worry.
Thanks for your help.
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear in any case, for a final...
This reminds Paimon a bit of the crux. Yep, we still can't let our... Still. Even if he's... Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art.
Successor of Amenoma art. Amenome Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with...
It is my honor.
One with nature.
The wind knows me.
Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds call.
Thank you for the Although he appears battered and broken, his sense of savage cruelty has...
You also fought well. There are a few things that
I must apologize to you for...
You need not seek my forgiveness. It is too late for...
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as... I strayed far from the straight, and I beseech you.
Yes.
Thank you. Success.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go...
I'm not sure, but...
I am sorry to have troubled you.
A prized Ishin blade. Considering their forging philosophy, but I have some good news as well.
Really?
Yes. Badly wounded, and now that Yuya is back...
I think I know what you want.
What's wrong, Kazuha?
Yes. He said he wants to take control...
What? No, what?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. I have decided...
But...
Thank you. Okay. I am ready. Let us be...
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's That's why he said it had to be done. His consciousness will disappear.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It seems like deep down, he disappeared only in the final moments.
Seems like he really...
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation, speaking for myself. I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his... I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me. Your quest to face the gods, and after everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fast...
Oh,
I will continue to support you from this point on.
Wait! Shouldn't we...
Oh, you're right. And it's also time to give him a...
You've returned. I hear that the Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amano...
Wow, you sure...
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. A weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forge. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to... And so, it looks like I will likely continue with... The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of... Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflict.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly...
I am aware, but I...
Very well, I can understand. However, if you should ever change your mind or...
Great.
Where will you travel to next,
As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
Mr. Nagato's survival is the one we will continue to monitor.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. Paimon was ready to ask her a million more questions, but didn't want to seem too pushy. Like, about these Descenders. So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from someplace else? And as for your brother... Whew, so many questions. Let's go find Nahida and see what else we can find out.
Our ads work as hard as you do.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's...
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious I want to write my essay on something interesting.
Yes, you came to me. So all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read...
Did one of them just mention Tatara Suna? Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a Great! Let's go find out what this...
All right, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction. If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Oh, you're the...
Hey, what's with that face?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit...
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Traveler, I hear you've helped many people agree...
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact...
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my...
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep...
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatara Suna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagam, but in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down. The records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger. Someone who dresses fun.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tatara Suna for a while before disappearing without a trace.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens?
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow! Did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatara Suna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in this story?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin Art and...
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in
The Kaidahara clan.
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course.
Get to the point. Repeat.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the kabuki mono was not a human, but a puppet.
A puppet?
Aha! Judging by the...
No! Paimon just meant...
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
And please read my Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've got...
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your...
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to... Okay, then even if we did know something about... After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information... If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many as... Ah! Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like... The Balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see. Traveler, Paimon, there you... Nahida! Bad news. Did he escape or...
Sure.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary? I know you must have a lot of questions. It was my idea to set the Balladeer... A deal?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why...
Don't flatter yourself. It was...
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job?
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to... But Paimon's worried about...
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment.
Don't you dare try to... As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal.
Well, I, for one, have no reason to...
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer plus. He's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond. Wait a second. Former? You mean he's not a Harbinger anymore? I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, Even I have to admit that I'm not... Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for my...
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection.
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear.
Yeah, obvious! Then let's put that discussion to the... Today can be a trial run.
All right.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nahida, are you...
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, yes. As I told you once...
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole...
You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, so the amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond so I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders.
Exactly! Or what?
I understand. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart as Sumeru's deity. It is my responsibility to be on guard. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the it's my pleasure, really.
Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly in fact, I was going to ask you, even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Wow. It looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company.
Shut your beak, jailbird!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards, but...
Sounds like a successful run. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively... I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain...
Fine. Let's call it true.
Let's cut each other a little slack. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to...
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that.
If there are no further objections, or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy.
We can start...
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small set? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow. So this is the inside of Irminsul. Ooh. Paimon's...
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information... Pick your jaws up off the...
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the...
Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Can you still sense for the...
Yes. Permission to be...
Permission granted.
Let's go.
Hey, so...
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here.
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
works the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a heap.
Lesser Lord Kusa.
Good, you made it.
Ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents.
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida...
The rest is up to you.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the...
Traveler, Paimon. Yes, I've all...
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it.
Paimon's never tried this, so... Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you...
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Perhaps today will be the... Well done. So, you made contact with that...
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's...
Everyone has a history, Paimon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia...
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki...
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatara Suna's history is still unexplained. And most of the
Oh? How interesting. Those two...
So the Gese got it
well. They guessed right about one thing.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny... Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the top... Of course you do.
So...
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in
Wait! How did you know?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I did. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in Huh?
This light. It looks...
Anonymous did.
Hey! Don't you forget the...
Shh! Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace.
Is that so?
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place. Like, as I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, the forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you joined. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much—
So you say, Escher.
My good sir.
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke, mounting production and recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely,
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torachiyo, the yokai struck down by the shogun's own hand.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine.
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find—
Enough, Ash. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take— I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some—
Judging from the look in your eye—
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever— I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your—
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this.
You...
You're a little smart. I thought I'd disguise myself exceptionally well. At least for the first few days. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that— And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity.
If you kill me...
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out.
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui.
The Fatui?
Just to create a...
That's it. That's what...
Look how even the righteous soul is filled. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else.
He has nothing to prove to anyone.
What a beautiful way to see the world. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not— I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet— Mr. Niwa? Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you.
Hey!
Dottore. Good.
Was that the doctor? But why did we...
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments,
Maybe so.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa, you know very well what that means. Even more...
Let's give him some space.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident.
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the kabuki mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. And of all the unwitting participants after the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the ballad. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer accept. The mechanic answered. Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that the mechanic removed the withered heart. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival.
Holy moly.
Yes.
Dotori, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, it won't.
Hey, are you...
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not...
Does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset.
Huh?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have some... Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens...
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria. And I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes.
Does this info count towards my mission?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for my... Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My powers all but completely... I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past? Done.
Huh? What?
Nothing. I was just... So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer, those who died in Tatarasuna because of me, deserve it.
Hey, Balladeer!
You know, I never did like insects. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess...
Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Oh, no.
Oh.
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon,
It was the Balladeer's fault.
I didn't think he'd be capable of some... Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated?
Where the heck did he go?
Don't be. It's not your... We're running out of time.
We're out! And we're...
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged. I'm sorry, but...
An emergency?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though the...
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big... He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible. Right! You can't just read... It's like... Imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no... So... Paimon... Huh? Ah! actually succeed. There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so... How about... Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Andrean chili chicken. Oh, also a... Paimon was, talking? Huh. Is that a food? What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it so, the balladeer? Okay, sure. Where are we? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay?
Ah, it's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't the once renowned Raiden Gokuden. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Ina. If my memory serves me right.
Oh yeah, we learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden.
That, in fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. Oh, he told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, there is no harm in telling you the Raiden Gokuden were the targets.
Vengeful?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day. And overseeing it, knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to in his heart. The whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. Powerless and destitute, the only... Alas, if only the story could have ended. Finally, he made a drastic decision. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt... That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. Then on to the next step. We're here.
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss
Are they out on
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But
We'll be heading in then.
Hello, dears. Of course. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. As for the commissioner himself, well...
So pretty much...
Very...
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a...
Alright, goodbye for now. We're... Great! Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll...
All right, then.
oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken...
Very well.
Guess we can rest a bit.
Do I have company?
What kind of person comes to a place like this?
Hey, I wasn't
Sure you were. Your eyes were glazed...
Why are you making fun of me? I told you I wasn't spacing out.
Oh, he said Tatarasuna.
Oh, is there something you want to know about Tatarasuna? My name's Xavier. Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just like the back of my hand. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Oh, well, I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation. Goes back around 1,000...
A couple?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a...
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Sabi?
Oh, I didn't realize...
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know...
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono. Of course!
Oh, we're leaving?
Oh, you're most farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile, no matter what happened. Hey, all right, let's...
Hey, it's them!
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are. If
we have time.
It's the same topic we discussed.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress, huh?
I presume you'll want to read mine as...
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could get...
What did you find out?
It's a long story. Basically...
Wow. So many...
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Ugh. So there's...
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that...
And they're back at it.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us.
You're welcome. See?
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do. Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon.
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time.
The balladeer? You look troubled. Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong?
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as...
But how is he...
As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone...
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because...
Yes. Theoretically speaking, the Traveler comes from a world beyond to that. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding.
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As... Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died. Once the balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, he couldn't keep hating humans after that. And the story makes sense. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just feels so hopeless.
Please wait a moment. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that...
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale?
I authored this record myself.
Huh?
When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear...
Hold on. So this record
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the Kabuki Mono and other records will have been changed. But changing the information in Irminsul changes... But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess
That's incredible!
And sending the Traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew she'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the truth... There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster, once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must..." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that the...
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the balladeer's story. It is his very own memory to become a god. He was experimented on and modified countless times. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Creating a deity was just the first step. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us. Paimon has no memory of him.
The balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed we still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but,
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, so the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth, and then when you give someone the truth, you give them it to others looking on. This may seem like never forget that even when we walk, and that is what you have...
Yeah, Nahita's right.
Good idea.
You got it. Come on, Trap. Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits. It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
There's a few things I'd like to look in.
What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. What is it? Have you
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look.
Hey!
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid! Didn't you see? Little rascal. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. I think you're right. Maybe it's...
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look.
Leave it to me. I'll find...
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And you don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time...
That's right. We can talk more about that later. First...
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of...
Yeah.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on... Oh, all right.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash... Huh? You two over there. You've been following me all the way from the city. No, we haven't met. I have no recollection.
Are you absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take...
A puppet?
Huh?
You were right.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of... Look, I'm just a wanderer. Okay, but please...
Are you really working for that guy?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm.
That's odd.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you.
Then let's return to the city.
Here you go, boss.
Oh, you really went...
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me.
I was just about to pay you anyway.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all.
But I don't... No. Then I suppose this is where we say...
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run in...
Thank you. All right, done.
What's wrong? Huh?
Hello. I do...
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't...
You say that you're trekking across to Vat to train yourself.
Well, It seems more relevant in my case, but these two claim that they know me.
I wouldn't call it the... I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in...
Oh, like a past life?
Yes. Something far more
Okay, I have... Oh, you want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt, but I'll be able to handle it.
Is truth something you care a lot?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. You nearly died because of what other people did. And many died because of you. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes...
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain...
It seems like my previous
We're not trying to hurt your...
If we were enemies...
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be... He's got so much to answer for...
Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Yes, it's all true.
Please, I want to see...
Even though it will cause your
I'm just a puppet. With no heart and no name.
Very well.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him?
Don't worry. Whatever danger...
Traveler, could I ask you to
Oh, good point.
Understood.
Thank you. It's time to get ready.
No matter what lies ahead, I'll face it.
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information. These memories will show you the raw truth.
Sounds like an immersive experience.
You don't need to do this for me.
We never give up halfway. Well...
All right.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you.
Is that because this is...
You could...
I hear foot...
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved, too. There's someone you're awake. Huh.
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichio's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer,
and the rest is history.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor, disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, as the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility, but Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa...
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabuki Mono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
this is where you were...
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make He kept coughing all the time.
But you can't.
Yup. We're fam-
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, after his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut. After leaving Tatarasuna, the ballad...
What happened to the child?
He died from his illness while he was still very young.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no...
The voices have gone.
Let's keep going.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that can be wielded with an iron will. Or continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
The fate of the rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Went too far.
This place is dark.
In the original version of events, the Traveler once...
Such a creepy atmosphere. And... Hey! Look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for...
What do you have to gain from belittling your... Perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time?
What a sharp... Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your truth...
Save your breath.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it.
Surely you're not...
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never failed to find what...
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Poor little tongue? Forget it. Someone might...
The plot does not end here.
Yes.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
What it is?
Lightning flash!
As one with wind and cloud!
The wind knows me.
Just like we rehearsed! Go! Take this!
Clouds hide. The birds come!
Blink!
retribution!
Over here!
One with nature.
Fine, but...
You can't run from death.
Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru. Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is...
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible, in the event that a successful...
Nothing worse than what I've been through before.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able... Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Let's move on.
Time to go.
You're a god.
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you...
In your eyes, are there...
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever...
I've seen enough of my past. No matter the consequences. Can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But...
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. Are you sure you want to do...
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self. I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deep, so I beg you.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return... You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright? No way!
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
This is trying my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
Have you got any more stupid questions?
Squall Fury.
At my command, you shall fall!
Feeble human!
Search for it!
Behold! Insignificant past!
Unsightly insects!
Squall Fury! My endless cycle begins! Behold!
Imbecile! Get out of my sight. What did you expect?
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self. Wait, but it was you and...
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. You sound like you're... But don't worry. Thanks to you...
The memory recovery seems...
Come on.
Welcome back, traveler.
It feels like we...
You don't like being addressed by...
It's fine. But after learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui. And they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people. And they might not even remember who the 6th is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for...
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it will...
But that doesn't mean your own path...
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had. You weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see changing the world, changing the past, changing... What you were looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not...
Indeed.
Do you regret doing all that?
Even if I'm completely worthless, Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to...
Why would you go to such length?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over, what? But before that, I wanted to tell you...
Very clever.
I guess you could say that...
Utility to others is what gives me worth. Self-embracing my... Oh, right. I almost forgot. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered. Including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well. I will try.
Traveler. After I dove into the information torrent in Irminsul? What? So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing but. Some things in this world can never be brought back. Everything that you feel is real and lasting. And whatever is missing in you will not be made. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose.
But humans can't live without a heart.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for...
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick it up!
Why?
Because...
Then I...
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on it...
No! Paimon only does nicknames! If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Are you sure? Oh, all right. If you say so.
There. Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet? Take your time. I don't need it. Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean...
The doctor.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. Even though the events have been erased.
I see.
Huh? But...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they... All right. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in...
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite... So we can finally go...
Thank you both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go...
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from...
You mean because every...
Yeah! I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nag... All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw. Life is a story too long to be told.
It's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes right. Wow, good! Huh? Look at the vase. Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something?
You sound lost and confused. I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. When a small animal runs into a tree trunk like a vase that falls to the ground, whether it is... History does not change easily. But human heart...
The voice has disappeared. And who the heck was that? And anyway, that face is still lying there broken on the ground. Should Paimon go get someone to clean it up? It feels wrong just leaving it.